Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Today, we got a few things we want to talk about. The other night, let's first start with that. In the NFL action, we saw a Monday night game that consisted of two different teams, but two teams that are one and the same. A Monday night party, like Hank Williams would say, but he's not allowed to sing that song anymore. I don't have a problem with Hank. But the Falcons won that game 45-32. They are now leading that division, the NFC South, where the Panthers are struggling, who lost to the Vikings the other day. They compared the Vikings defense to the Broncos. I don't know about that. They're good, but I don't know about that. Broncos are a sustained dynasty at defense, on the defensive side. Vikings, we'll see. But I really liked how the Atlanta draft picks from the past few years, they're finally paying off for Atlanta. Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman, they are paying off for Atlanta. Finally. Two running backs that got really high that haven't made a difference. I think they're trying to get it back to those Warwick Dunn type days. And, they had Anthony Dixon a few years ago who was pretty good for them. But I really like the way Freeman and Coleman are playing. Freeman's got 14 carries for 152 yards from the other night. Coleman, he got all the TDs, though, all the shine, 3 rushing TDs. Also, the Saints defense, they're bad again. Rob Ryan, he didn't taste so bad now that I think about it for the Saints. I mean, they are giving up 40-plus points, 30-plus points a game. I mean, it's getting ridiculous there in New Orleans. And Drew Brees, why are you still there, sir? I mean, your team's not great. Are you going to try to leave New Orleans and get your GM to bring in some players that are actually going to help out what you guys are trying to do there in New Orleans? I think Drew Brees is more concerned about simply jacking those stats up. I saw that he was third in TDs. He'll probably play there for the remainder of his career for the next 3 years just to jack up those stats, because honestly, when I see Drew Brees, he looks like a guy that is content with eggs and waffles. He doesn't want any bacon. He doesn't want any ham on the side. He doesn't want a breakfast skillet. Just give him his eggs and waffles. He's good. And when I say eggs and waffles, I mean he's won his Super Bowl. So the fact that he's already won a Super Bowl the way they won it for that city, I think he feels no pressure whatsoever in New Orleans, simply because they love Drew Brees. And he knows they love Drew Brees, and he knows he's already brought a Super Bowl to that city. So what more can they say about him? So I really think that the Saints will continue to struggle. Matt Ryan had 2 TDs with no interceptions. Very surprised about that. Maybe this is the Matty Ice that we're used to seeing from the past. I don't know. We'll have to see. Matt Ryan, you keep doing what you're doing, sir. You look like Matty Ice of the past. Now, also, a somber moment from the past couple days. The Take Me Out to the Ball Game. That tribute to Jose Fernandez, excellent tribute they had on Monday for him. D. Gordon had the home run at the beginning of the game, the leadoff homer. He was very emotional about this entire process, losing Fernandez, who was their ace on the mound. So it was really touching to see him hit that home run and give a salute. It kind of reminds me of Hank Gather's teammate shooting the left-handed free throw. Similar sports instance. So it's just something that's still really sad, and I think a lot of people just are really in disbelief about. Jose Fernandez, great young pitcher, just definitely had a run-in with bad luck. Just was an awful weekend for him and his family. But I really liked how D. Gordon responded and had the leadoff home run, and then last night had the score where he singles and that team, they'll be better, but the Marlins, it really hurts them in the future to not have a pitcher like Jose Fernandez, who would have been there presumably for a long time. Also, the wild card race, the Cleveland Indians, they locked up their division. Congrats to Cleveland. They really picked it up after LeBron got done what he got done in the finals against Chef Curry and the boys. Shout out to Chef Curry and the boys. Also, the Mets are staying alive like tapeworm. Also are the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals, Mets, and the Giants, they're neck and neck. I think they're a half game above the Giants or a full game above the Cardinals. Either or. They may be flip-flop. They bounced back for the Fernandez. After the Fernandez tribute Monday night, they got crushed. That was, of course, the day after the passing of Fernandez, so I figured the Marlins would come out and play hard. But last night the Marlins laid down. I think that emotional hangover really got to them. The Mets beat them, I want to say 12-1 maybe. So they took control of that game, and they take control of that wild card spot. Also, the Cardinals bounced back from the Reds loss the other day. I don't know why they're busy losing to the Reds. They need all these games. They got down early last night, came back, won that game. Also, the Giants and Cardinals, they're waiting behind New York like a Starbucks line. I mean, of course, New Yorkers love their coffee, and they don't like their lines, but the Mets are at the front, so I really think that they'll continue to progress. Cespedes, their mound with Syndergaard, I think he's been pitching a lot better as of late, the last 2 weeks. He struggled there on the tail end of the summer, so I really think their bullpen, compiled with their hitters, people like Daniel Murphy, as well as Cespedes, that will really keep them atop the wild card race above the Cardinals and Giants. They'll probably win that, but we'll have to see. Also, the Red Sox, they were held up by New York and the Bronx, did not win the division, couldn't close it out because they could not simply beat the Yankees. David Price, he couldn't snag it for the Red Sox. Also, one thing I want to say that I watched Mookie Betts. That man, he can play. I mean, he is the XYZ factor of that entire team. He's somebody who's making plays from the plate. Also, he's catching balls from the outfield. The play that he had last night where he catches it and slides because it gets lost in the lights and then guns down the runner trying to get back to first base. Mookie Betts, you've been the star of the night and the day. Mookie Betts, he's somebody who, without a doubt, should win the MVP. They keep talking about Mike Trout, but, I mean, yeah, Mike Trout's had a great year, but what is his team doing? Nada, nothing, zero. So you got to give that award to Mookie Betts. I can't take that away from Mookie the man. He's been playing outstanding this year. Batting average and also his play in the outfield, you can't replace that. You know, I know Mike Trout's a great outfielder as well, but Mookie Betts has been at another level all year. What I saw on TV last night, funny moment, a fan that lost the ring on national television in the Yankee Stadium and then has to search for it with security and everybody else, finds it, and then she says, yes, funny thing to watch. So I really enjoyed that Yankees-Red Sox game that I watched last night. No football was on. But tomorrow night, we do have football on. Houston versus UConn. That should be a cakewalk. I really think that Houston will win that game. It's Goodville hunting that they're waiting on in November 17th when Louisville comes to town. That'll be their next really, really, really big game. That'll be the game where they'll have the spotlight of the entire nation faced right there in Houston on Lamar Jackson versus Greg Ward. I'm anxious to see that matchup. I think it'll be contrasting styles. I don't think they'll run as much with Greg Ward because unlike Louisville having an outstanding amount of talent, which Houston does as well, but they've grown that over the past couple of years. You know, linebackers like Stephen Taylor, they've been there, you know, since maybe I was in college, you know. But they've got a nice team, but they need that game a lot more than Louisville just because they don't play in a Power 5 conference. They won the game against Oklahoma, but how good is Oklahoma really based off their season that we've seen thus far, getting crushed by Ohio State and then losing to Houston, of course. Also, Greg Ward, he can use this as a stat game. Against UConn, he's got to beef up those stats if he wants to win at Heisman and have a shot. Because right now, everybody's giving it to Lamar Jackson, and there's a close second with McCaffrey or Deshaun Watson, whoever you want to slide in there. So, Greg Ward, you got to play well this game and get those stats beefed up a little bit. Also, they're a complete pie of a team, defense and offense. I like the way Houston plays hard on both sides of the ball. And defense, they've lagged at times, but when it's counted, they've made up for these Thursday night games, which we saw against Cincinnati a few weeks ago. I want to say 2 weeks ago. So I like Houston. I do. Les Miles fired by LSU. I know many of us know about that. The administration and boosters, apparently they didn't like him. Ed Orgeron becomes the interim coach. He's everybody's interim coach, isn't he? He was at USC. He lost that Ole Miss job. But he's somebody that I guess fills in the role, okay, because he's been a former head coach, so they assume that he knows how to run a team. the first thing he did that he got power to do was fire Cam Cameron, which he did do. He made the decision to fire Cam Cameron and said that he wants to open up the offense, which I think they should. He said, I want to run a little bit of spread, stuff like that. And I think he's getting at, he wants to utilize the speed and talent they have on that team, which I totally agree with. This may give Brandon Harris a chance to come back into that starting role because he's the better dual threat quarterback opposed to Danny Etling. I talked about before how Brandon Harris really struggles in that offense that Cam Cameron wants to run. So I think that his skill set and Leonard Fournette, they can thrive in a spread offense. I think this spread offense could actually turn around LSU's season in totality. So we'll have to see about that. Is Jimbo Fisher next there or no? Florida State, you guys got to wait till the end of the year. So I really think Jimbo Fisher will come home, maybe take that LSU job. But, of course, they've got to be considerate of Florida State and wait that out. Is Brian Kelly next at 1-3 getting fired? I don't know. Mr. Kelly, it doesn't look too nice there in South Bend. Notre Dame doesn't look too Notre Dame this year to me. But I did say that they would struggle this year. But I didn't think they would struggle this much. Losing to Duke at home by 3? Where they do that at? Now, also, I would love to see what adjustments they can make at quarterback. Try Zaire out. Kaiser's great. Brian Kelly came out and said everybody's position is up for grabs except the long snapper. Well, Deshaun Kaiser, that sounds like that your job may be in jeopardy, sir. But, again, we'll have to see. Next show, we'll talk Louisville versus Clemson in Death Valley. That's a big game this weekend. Everybody wants to see it. The actual stats of that game have shifted opposed to who the underdog and favorite will be over the past few months simply because of the play Louisville's had. Also, other NFL, college football matchups, and then everybody who's waiting for basketball, relax, relax, relax. NBA season starts October 25th, and college basketball starts soon after. So let's just relax, relax, relax. I will get to that for everybody. This is No Sports. We know everything. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day.